Hey there guys, so in today's we're going to be starting off with the TCN war, which of course has gone over this in the past. TCN is always a very big war. They've been one of the most other consistent alliances for competing and for doing very well in the seasons, so it's not a war we take very lightly. I put on the 30% boost, and I have that team, so double white mags and Archangel. I'm on path 2 here. So I've seen this fight taken with stuff like Spider-Man 2099 and stuff. So pretty much my plan is I just needed to get my neuros up as quickly as I can, but as you're seeing, I was having very bad RNG with my bleeds on those first 2 heavies. Now I'm getting some good RNG, so I'm back on track, and I have 3, so as you notice, he doesn't gain the Mystic Dispersion from that first placebo. And for having the bad bleed RNG, it kind of got made up for with I had really good neutralize RNG, and he didn't really apply any to me, which was very fortunate. And I'm just going to finish him off there. Pretty simple fight, as I said. It's pretty much just I need to get a neuro on as quick as I can to try to reduce the chance of the neutralize, the MD, the rupture, not the ruptures, the placebos. So yeah, I have to drop 6 white mags this war, so that's quite a few. But I do get all of my fights I have a white Magneto for, I think, because they all have something to do with stuns. The first one, it's a very bad version of Limber. This one is a Nihilus. I've taken a ton of Nihiluses with Archangel and white Magnetos through the seasons here, right? Back when he used to be on the mini-boss island and stuff, I would take it, still on other paths. This is that place that I took Wong last video, so I'm also getting a couple Furies, but around here they're going to stop triggering, I think. But this fight isn't too concerning for me, because I have that white Magneto, I'm healing a bit from the armor breaks, I have a lot of neuros and a lot of poisons on, and he's just melting really quickly. Honestly, Archangel fights are kind of getting to that Quake point, aren't they, where it's just like, they're usually the same. So this is a fight that can become very different, because Misty Knight has a couple things that are can be hard to keep track of when you're trying to just play very simple and you're trying to not overcomplicate stuff, right? She has the 2 charges, balances, whatever you want to call it, and the one makes it so she goes unblockable, the other makes her evade, and then she has a chance for Purify, which is why we have the white Magneto on. And I really just need to make sure that I get neuros on before she gets to her unblockable charges. And I was able to get up a couple really quickly, and I'm just going for some repairs to try to get the poisons, but she's just throwing that heavy really quickly. Finally get another one, gonna chain the SP1 in while I have the 4 bleeds, get a couple poisons. And as you see, I back off there in case she purified, because I'm pretty sure she has a purify. So this is not our closest TCN war, this was not TCN's best war, and this was not our best war against TCN. Yeah, it was still a very good war. They just had a couple deaths very early on, which in a war against like TCN, JA, us, very early deaths can set a very big tone for that war. They still did very well. 10 deaths. 10 deaths when you're down early isn't too bad. Yeah, as I said, this wasn't their like best showing, right? We've had wars that are very close or very low deaths by them, but still a very fun war. So here is the war against Salty. So that was the 9th war, so this is now, I'm caught up. This was the war yesterday that just happened, the final one for week 3. Throwing on my boosts. Again, Salty is definitely an alliance that can put on a very good performance. They don't always do their best performance against us, I feel like, in the past, but they are an alliance that can put on a very good score. They've really climbed up over the past like seasons for a while now, kind of like along with GT and the time that we started winning, they've been pretty good as well. I think they're having a pretty solid season right now, and I have a couple friends there, so I really don't want to die this war. I also have 4 fights today for this war, actually, instead of just 3, so that's fun, right? So Nick Fury, Thing, and Falcon. This fight here, I thought maybe it was going to be a Falcon fight because I have the global on my Falcon, but it's actually a Nick Fury fight for the rank 4 Nick Fury. I've gotten a lot of use out of him this season, he's pretty fun. So right there at the start, I just want to make sure that my parry sticks because there's the 15% concussion per debuff on me. And every time I shrug off one debuff, I'm going to be getting that really big Fury. And even though I have the color change on me for his Delirious, I don't actually continue with it. It just shrugs it off, but I just have the color with me. So right here, I put on the power back boost kind of for this fight, but it was mainly for my Falcon fight, because I get to take all my fights in one go here. And this Falcon is for a Path 5 thing, so that's why I wanted that advanced power boost. I was honestly, for a half second, I was considering swapping to the invulnerability boost. You know, sometimes you're just like about to go into a fight, especially in certain champions, and you just have this weird feeling, and you're like, do I need an invulnerability right now? Am I about to like just not, he's not going to throw specials, or I'm going to like mistime his SP2, and so that's why I'm like hesitating right there. I'm like, you know what, I'll be fine. I'm going to use the power backs and the power start 1 so I can do a lot of my SP2s, which do a lot of damage for Falcon, because they are guaranteed crits when you are locked on, which I won't really be attacking much when he's not. And as I was worried about, he's actually already starting to play pretty passive here, right, where he was just kind of walking up to me. I get my intercept, I remove the protection, and as long as locked on was on, I don't have to worry about his the node's protection for the rest of the fight. I kind of wanted to try to hit in more there, but he was a little bit stingy with his power, so I couldn't quite go. And now I'm baiting the special, and this, oh, that's not where it is actually. So now I just want to try to get my locked on back on. I just need like 2 combos to get up to my SP2. That's why I back off, just so he doesn't go above his bar of power, so I can really get there really fast. Pushes him to SP2. I still have half my locked on. I'm like, okay, I'll hit a couple times, lower his health some. I was hitting a couple blocks I didn't need to. I was getting a little bit nervous for some reason. I'm against the wall, he has SP2. I was just a little bit nervous. But, so then I go in to finish without the locked on, because at that point in the fight, I would have been able to throw SP2. I had a lot of safety nets. I didn't realize I was actually getting the White Magneto pre-fight from John here. He's one of my officers here, actually, and I didn't realize I was getting that. I thought he was taking Path 4 for some reason. Oh, shoot, that's Coop. Shout out Coop. He was asking for us to say hi to him in the war chat. We were just having some laughs in a chat. So I have Thing for this long shot. Thing is, of course, a great counter for long shot for a couple reasons. Mainly the fact that long shot SP1 is bleed damage, where you get those red numbers on you if he's Pure of Heart. But doesn't matter, Thing's bleed immune. His SP2, which can do a ton of damage to you if you have any buffs on you, any bad karma, it just destroys you. But Thing is Fate Seal immune, so you don't have to worry about too much outside of brute force damage from this. Which is why I don't think I ended up putting on a 3-minute boost for this, because I didn't feel like I needed a regen boost. As long as I have my protection on for his SP3, it won't really do any damage, because I should be at 15 to 20 rock stacks. I wasn't planning on throwing too many specials this fight. Pretty much, I want to slowly build my rock stacks. As you're going to see, when I'm baiting SP1s here really early, he has a ton of power, but I am trying to make sure that I build my rock stacks. Dex is SP1, he's going to come back in. I'm going to parry to go up to my 20. MD is giving him a ton of power. For this first bit of the fight is so slow, because I should have thought more about how I wanted to take this before going in, but as you see, he has like 4 points, I think 4 points. It doesn't feel like a full 5 in Mystic Dispersion. Bad Karma also power siphons a little bit, and I wasn't really doing a good job taking his protection off, and I'm just like, this is really slow. What do I want to do here? Do I want to start baiting SP2s because I won't get incinerated from this? He also is not getting to Pure of Heart at all, which that's really where the SP2 becomes an issue, even with non-incinerate immune champions or the Fate Seal immune. So right here I'm like, okay, I'm going to go for this. Champions that have a big distance after a special, especially the special one, typically dash in right after it. Like, a great place to notice this is against Iron Man Infinity War. I feel like is where I really started to see this pattern, is champions with hard to punish specials typically dash in right after their animation. Not like right after, there's like a slight pause. So that's what I was starting to do there. So I got that one intercept off, and now I knew what my plan was going to be. I want to bait out this SP2, and then I'm going to try to get an intercept, and I'm going to throw my SP3. I didn't want to use my SP3 until I could get just about to a kill. If you guys remember that Maw fight from last season where I used my SP3 and then I actually gave him an SP3 of his own, and it was fine because nothing really happened, but I didn't pay enough attention to the fact that Thing does get actual buffs on his SP3 and not passives. So right, he's going to get the unblockable and the unstoppable here after this SP3, and so if I don't kill before those go away, he gets 2 triggers of Mystic Dispersion, and I didn't really want that. So I get my Fury, I double my Furies, and it's a 40k SP3 and a 17k crit right out of it. As I said, the fight started very, very slow, but then speeds up very quickly once I start going for those intercepts. I probably should have been trying to go for a couple more intercepts earlier on, baiting more SP2s, and it would have been a quicker fight overall. But I like my adjustment mid-fight to start going for those intercepts after the SP1s and stuff, and then switching to a couple SP2 baits, because I'm pretty confident in my SP2 of Longshot decks. So now, I have Spider-Ham on whatever node this is, but it's the Polka Dot and Stun Reflect. So, obviously, Nick Fury will not be able to stun him here, but if I have the safety net of my second life, plus the rank 4 boosted health pool, which was close to 60k I think it was. Look at the block proficiency, and I'm going to be doing more damage per combo I give than I take on the block, right? I'm 2 combos in, he's down below 80%, and I baited 2 heavies, and I'm still at 95. If anything bad were to actually happen, I have my my second life, as I said. If I take a big pork popper, I also have an invul on. I can eat 4, 5 maybe SP3s in this fight if I really wanted to. I'll be honest, I thought about pushing him just to SP3s and not worrying about it. The other big thing to note for this fight is, right, I'm going to be gaining very slow power, and it's not based on my hits. But what I want to do is I still want to throw my SP1 as quickly as I can after getting it, because that's how you really keep Spider-Ham under control. He doesn't have a very high chance to evade unless he gets very high with his nonsense, and he won't really be applying the random porker poppers. So typically what you want to do is you just want to measure out your combos, but because of the passive power gain for this fight, it required a little bit more like trying to wait out the right amount of power. I didn't do it perfectly in this fight, but it was still only a minute-long fight for a mini-boss. Nick Fury just does so great when you can bleed them, of course, that's just what he does. I thought about trying to steal this fight because I've taken some Quicksilvers before, but not there, and we had a better plan for it, honestly, so just wasn't going to go for that. I'd just be looking at fights right now, I'm like, oh, I could steal that, but don't do that. As I said, Salty can put up a very good performance if they did less deaths than TCN, right? Very, very good war by them. They actually had a very unlucky start. This war would have looked very, very different if it wasn't for just a little thing that happened at the start of the war for them. They had one person just die a couple times really early on. And stuff like that happens, right? We're all humans here. But this was a very, very good war. It was a fun one. There's a lot of good people in Salty that are very, very nice and very fun. So this was a very fun one. This was a fun 2 wars back to back, honestly, and I'm glad to be caught back up. I hope the 3rd week for wars has gone well for you guys, and I'll be seeing you guys soon. Bye.